we believe that privacy is a fundamental right, and right now, Perp DEX is fully transparent, and it actually makes it impossible for some users to migrate their strategy to Perp DEX. Because for some strategy, you cannot signal the market what your trading intents are. So we believe by offering this solution, we are actually enable another huge group of users to migrate from CEX to DEX.
All right, sir. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
To start with, I always begin with the same question. Could you please tell me your name and what you do?
So, hi everyone, I'm Leonard. I'm the CEO of Aster, a decentralized trading platform that specializes in perpetual future tradings. We also provide other trading products like spot trading and also earn yield-bearing products. So our vision is to rebuild the entire trading experience, but with on-chain infrastructure. So my job is to work with my team and community to achieve that vision.
So do you just as a quick aside, uh do you like the kind of the blanket term decentralized perp dex? I know like this is like a new narrative and it usually gets called a decentralized perp dex, but um it sounds
Yeah.
like that kind of is a small not the whole thing, not the whole product that you provide.
Yeah, I feel like it's just not just us. Like maybe 3 months, 6 months from now, the entire vertical, this market will just be called Orderbook DEX instead of
Interesting.
Perp DEX, because I think most, including us, like most Perp like as far as we know as known as Perp DEX, now provide spot products as well. And you can see other exchanges also starting to consider their own stablecoin product. So it's more likely that like the players will kind of diverge and in a sense converge into like a trading platform in a trading platform that encompass all kind of trading products that just replicate the entire centralized experience. So we are probably one of the leading teams on doing that, but I believe that's the direction in general that everybody is heading into.
Yeah. So the perp dex meta or the perp dex narrative needs a rebrand to, as you say, like
Yes,
order
probably.
book dex or something like that. Okay. We'll get to Aster in a little bit, but let's start with your background. Can you kind of take me through the path that brought you to where you are today?
Okay, sure. So I think like a lot of people, I started off working in traditional finance. So after graduate, I started off in the technology department of like an investment bank, like building out high frequency trading infrastructure, like doing colocation setup, providing market data, etc. And then I became a software developer specialized in global equity market risk system. So that's where I get probably obtain most of my financial knowledge and risk management as well. But after around 5.5 years, I kind of knew that I probably is not built for a corporate job. So I really wanted to build my own product. So I started out my
How did you
entrepreneurial
know
journey.
that? Sorry, how did you know that? What helped you
I know it's
realize that?
cliche, but then it's when you know, like there's always this gut feeling in me that like I want to have a bigger impact. I want to build something that people actually enjoy using. And not that traditional finance doesn't have those products. It's a very more mature, regulated environment where like whatever you can do is very limited. So I'd say I was always kind of preparing myself to build my own thing, and eventually I guess enough is enough. So I just like okay, I'll just take the leap of faith and then just go start my failed attempt at entrepreneurship at that time. So my first failed experience was in fintech. It was we were doing some P2P lending, but through that process, we we learned about the blockchain technology. I remember back then, like
What year is
it,
this, sir?
2016. That's when it was. So I learned about like Solidity, and back then it was there was also permission blockchain. Like, believe it or not, like it's not a thing now, but back then there's debate between like whether permissioned is better or permissionless is better. Yeah, so I learned a lot about that, how to like how to build product on it, how to code on in Solidity, etc. Um, and I tried to build several projects. I remember doing GameFi before it was a thing. So like build some
Wow.
NFTs, some in-game currency. Um, but it was before the narrative was hot. So uh, also I think I know a lot less than I currently do. So the product didn't work out. Uh, that experience was very valuable. I think it like I get to know what I wanted to do and made me realize like what are the major gaps are in terms of like building my own product and team. Um, then I joined Binance when it was just a crypto to crypto exchange. Like there was not no earn, no fiat, no futures product when I first joined. So I've spent a few years there, developed several products from scratch, and learned again a great deal of crypto. I think more importantly, like how a successful startup should work. Like I learned how a failed one would like worked. Learn how like, and then at Binance witness how a successful one kind of built from scratch, how they build a community, how what the importance of being user focused, like building a capable team, like it's just like put your head down, focus on product, etc. And in 2001, that was the
2021.
in 2021, that was when Perp DEX was first become a thing. Like that was the first wave of Perp DEX. DYDX was
Yeah.
like was the leader back then. Uh, so that kind of clicked in my mind. Me and my team, we believe that eventually DEX will become the future. So we started uh, Apollo X, and over time we have pivoted, rebranded into Aster today. Uh, we learned a great deal. We accumulate a group of core users. We have an improved product now and a strong team, which eventually led us to Aster today.
Very cool. Okay, just a couple follow-up questions about this. Were you, when you first learned about crypto,
Hmm.
I'm assuming it was maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum,
Ethereum.
which it was Ethereum. And
Well, every Bitcoin first, of course, everybody read that white paper, like P2P cash exchange. But then what really got me into it, like many people, was ICO on Ethereum.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that 2016, 2017. Yeah, that was.
Exactly.
And were you suspicious of it at first? Because you were coming from a
Oh,
traditional financial background. Was there like a period of like, what is this? This can't work.
well, I think it started off with Bitcoin. Like you said, everybody was kind of like suspicious of it. I guess I am more of an adventurous. I tend to be an optimist, like a technology optimist. I believe that most technology are neutral and most likely is a net positive thing for like the society of future if it's used to right. Obviously I'm biased, so I actually didn't think that much when I first when I first get in touch with Bitcoin. I actually didn't own Bitcoin first. I owned Ethereum first. Ethereum was my first crypto. Um, and obviously, I think ICO has a like at its peak is just very fun thing to do, right? I think like many people, I first got my got my Ethereum, put in an ICO. I remember returned 20x, and I thought I was a genius. Obviously, like that 20 Ethereum broke it down into five other like ICO, and I think four of them went to zero. One of them survived. But yeah, I still make money on Ethereum. Yeah. But then just got me into like Solidity, and also I built my own mining rack with with a
Oh, cool.
with GPUs. And just a side story, I think one of the things that like I always tell people, like, I bought some Nvidia back then, like shares,
Oh
like that made
wow.
me
Oh my goodness.
because I couldn't get hold of the Nvidia GPU. I end up like with like another brand to like for my mining rig, but back then I was like, okay, like I need to buy that stock. It went down afterwards because it was also at the peak, but where everybody was using it as the mining, like a mining GPU. Uh, but then obviously I like AI, and then I probably make more money from that stock, like than the mining rig itself. But then yeah, so that's how I got into it. But I guess like many people, uh, we were in it for the money and then like stay for the technology, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's how I got started.
Very cool. Your story, I hear a lot from builders, engineers, builders, and founders, where the thing that really hooked them was Ethereum and smart contracts. Like they thought, oh, Bitcoin, that's kind of interesting, but it was this kind of promise or maybe the opportunity to actually build on this,
Mm.
and that really hooked people. And so that seems to be a common thing I hear. Okay. And also just one question. So you said that you built some early things. I remember in 2017 the first DEX that I think maybe it was the first DEX was Ether Delta. Was it Ether Delta? Um, Man, that was terrible. I remember using that in 2017 and just being like, this is god awful. Yeah.
It takes a few iteration. I mean, even for DYDX, which was probably the first DEX that's really, Perp DEX that's really usable. Like I remember, like, a confirmation takes like 6, 8 seconds. Like right now, if you roll out that, probably nobody would use it, right? But then back then, it was like an innovation and is a very very big step up. So I believe, yeah, that's like a natural evolution of all products. It will get hype, overinvested, and that improves the infrastructure so that prepare for mass adoption later on.
Yeah. All right. So and I think now is the time for perp dexes or order book dexes. I think the technology is mature enough that it can finally support this product in a performant way. And so let's talk more about Aster. You briefly introduced it. Um, let's start with a little more detailed view. What is Aster? It has many different products within it. So you can kind of walk me through all of those in a bit of detail.
Sure. So Aster is designed to be a decentralized exchange offering both perpetual and spot trading. So we want it to be a one-stop on-chain venue for like all crypto traders. So we have everything you expect with when compared to a traditional centralized exchange, but it's built on decentralized infrastructure. So you enjoy self-custody, data transparency, at the same time we hope we can achieve the same level of surface and user experience. Um, we offer perpetual contract tradings with leverage option up to like 1,000 times, wide range of like available pairs from traditional crypto like BTC to newly listed like meme coins, and even recently we added more real world asset like stock perpetuals. Um, the thing, one of the things that is special about us, we support multi-collateral assets. So, like, while some, like, a lot of perp decks only support a limited amount of collateralized asset, we support like a fair wide range of it, and on multiple chains. So we support Ethereum, Solana, Arbitrum, obviously BNB chain. Uh, and on top of that, we also provide market leading earn products like I mentioned, like ASBNB, USDF. So you can basically maximize the return with very high capital efficiency. You can deposit whatever asset you have on all major chain and start trading with it while having the option to earn some extra yield when you're trading or when your like fund is idle. So besides perpetual trading, we have recently launched, put a lot of effort in the spot product where we focus on proactively listing high potential project with a product called Rocket Launch. So for our users, they get rewarded with an airdrop with this project tokens while trading this newly listed asset. So it's a product that we want to like create a win-win-win situation where like our users get like high potential project airdrops while this new good projects get liquidity for like at early stage. So that's our spot product. And in terms of infrastructure, I think we are one of the few projects that is focused on building a privacy-focused Orderbook enabled blockchain that's specialized in high performance matching, order matching on chain. Uh, Basically, what this enable us to do is to protect users' trading information while making it verifiable on chain by the public. So we're expecting to roll that out in 2026. So next quarter, we will release more information about this. I think this is one of the like really cool things that we want to build, and we see that there probably is not a very like like a dominant solution out there that can provide similar capability. So we also have an ongoing airdrop. We call stage four, called Halfords. So if you're a trader looking for a low fee, high performance stacks, highly recommend Aster. Obviously, I'm biased, but trade on us. Get some extra Aster airdrop at the same time, and like while like testing out our new infrastructure, like our privacy-focused blockchain that's coming. So that's a brief description of what we do.
Very cool. Okay. And I'm going to ask you some questions about this. I am not super technically minded, so these questions might sound dumb to you, which is
No, there's no
hopefully going to
stupid
be
questions.
hopefully good for my audience.
Mm,
So first of all, um, so you said that you guys are multi-collateral.
yeah.
Um, so this basically means like, so for example, if you have a not multi-collateral DEX, you would have maybe accept, I don't know,
Mostly
USDC or
stable coins,
maybe
yes.
some stable coins, and then you you can use those stable coins to then um, trade on derivatives like perps or something like that,
Correct.
perpetuals.
Yes.
Okay, and then multi-collateral, you open that up to other assets, presumably non stablecoin assets,
Correct.
like you said. Um, so, what are the advantages and disadvantages of multi-collateral? I'd imagine there's some more volatility involved, but there's also more
Mm.
optionality. So I'd love to hear you explain that.
So for example, if you hold like um one of the altcoins that we accept and you don't want to exit that position, right? But you still want to leverage and get exposure into other coins, then you can do it on Aster. If there's only the option of like accepting USDC, USDT, all the stable coins, then you will have to exit that position or like take on a loan and then deposit into our in a perpetual trading exchange in order to make that trade. So what that allows you to do is like make your capital more efficient. It's like you can just deposit and start trading with it. Instead of like exiting a position or like taking a loan on it, which my accurate cost and also my limit on like how much exposure you can get.
Probably requires a lot of what's it called? I'm
Risk
guessing the
management.
risk management, but also I think on the back end on your side, it
Mm,
requires a lot of sophistication to make sure that that's managed well, which is maybe one reason why you don't see it a lot because it requires a lot of technical
mm.
sophistication, I'd imagine. Okay, rocket launch. Yeah. Um, this is. I'd like to hear. Could you just explain this one more time for me? What exactly is?
So we partner with project
Hmm.
that are like launching,
Yeah.
and then we will list them and allow user to trade on us uh, in exchange for airdrops. of that specific project. The idea behind this is for a lot of like good projects, what they need to get to the next level is like a liquidity. So
Hmm.
we want to bootstrap that for them while benefiting the traders uh, on Aster basically. So that's why we have this rocket launch platform. And I think one of the great things about DEX is because it is decentralized, we can at least we can be a lot more agile. You can lease asset a lot quicker at an earlier stage, and our goal is to help our user to discover this project and also help this project to bootstrap their initial liquidity.
Very cool. And presumably, do you have to have Aster as well to do this, or just trade on the pair?
Right now, we do have a requirement for you to hold a like 100 Aster in order to be eligible for it, but it's like a relatively reasonable and low requirement. We just want to make sure that like we benefit the Aster holder, but it's a pretty like low threshold, so everybody probably achieve that.
Yeah, so the token utility there.
Mm,
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I like that. And the earn thing.
mm,
Um, this is on is this on like a wide range of products? Is this on stables? What exactly are you?
So we have a stable product called USDF. So
Okay.
is a delta neutral strategy where we take the stable and use a delta neutral strategy to generate yield for our users. We recognize that as a collateral, so we you can trade with it while making some yield as well. Another like one of the bigger products you earn products we have is ASBNB. So you can enjoy the launch and launch pad uh, yield uh, as if you were you're having those BNB in Binance. So we will get the airdrop for our users and convert it back to BNB so that it accumulates over time. So
Ah,
yeah, so
so it's like
it's
staked, almost like a staked, like a
almost
liquid
like it.
staking token, LST.
Yes, so very very similar. And what that does is like you enjoy like around 10% yield while using that as a collateral. So yeah, is pretty substantial.
Interesting. I like that. Cool. All right, cool. The next or the last one I have on this is so the privacy focus thing. Yeah, this is like a big thing that's been on crypto Twitter, CT. Um,
Mm,
the the importance of privacy on order book dexes or the lack thereof.
yeah.
I'm assuming you're doing this through some fancy magical ZK stuff.
Well, we would do utilize the CK technology, so it's pretty magical. But I would like I think once you get to know it, it's not that mysterious. But we believe that like privacy is a fundamental right, and right now, Perp DEX is fully transparent. And it actually makes it impossible for some users to migrate their strategy to Perp DEX because for some of the strategy, you cannot signal the market what your trading intents are. So um, we believe by offering this solution, we will actually enable another huge group of user to migrate from CEX to DEX. And I think it's overall a good thing for the ecosystem because like I think eventually, these users have to migrate over, and once they migrate over, they will experience like this like the superiority of DEX and stay here. So that's why we're focusing on building that privacy solution, and yeah, hopefully everyone can see that as soon as possible.
Mm. So there's been a debate on crypto Twitter about this, right? Like
Mm,
whether this is good or bad.
mm,
And uh, I personally, I think I'm more inclined to saying that it's probably good to have some privacy
mm,
in the order book because it just feels like then people can other players can try to stop you out, or I don't know, do all this
Mm,
kind of stuff. Um, the other side, that I'm not going to represent it very well because,
mm,
but the other side seems to think that that uh, transparency is ultimately better because um, at least the way I understand it is like if you're positioned here and someone tries to
mm,
exploit your position, you can see them trying to exploit your position, or
mm.
everyone can see that, and then they can try to exploit that, and so you kind of on balance, then
In
they kind of
theory.
yeah, in theory it kind of washes out. What do you respond to for that kind of argument?
Mm. First, I think it's hard to, like, again, like, it's hard to say what is good, what is bad. There are different options, there are different tools. It depends on how you utilize it. My personal belief is that like the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Like full transparency, while it has advantage, also has its disadvantage and limit how people can use that tool. Obviously, like on the other side of the spectrum, like full privacy also makes it impossible for people to verify, make it unfair for some of the market participants. So I think our philosophy is that like it's a fundamental right, it's a right for you to give up, right? Like we have the option of being private. uh, we can by default make it transparent, but you have the option to stay private if you want to. And I think that's actually the most inclusive solution because there will always be scenario where people prefer or people need privacy. And um, by not having that option, we're actually excluding this group of users. So at least that's a take that Aster have. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's better. I think um, in a big enough market, there will be a diverse group of users that have different needs. And I think different decks can focus on being good at different things. Like while we are competing, I think at the core product, the trading product, I think the future is that like there will be oligopoly where there will be multiple big exchanges with good liquidity that are good at different things, and people will pick based on their preference of their like on user experience or on their trading strategy. And as they're being having the privacy option would be best suitable for certain group of people. So I think that's how we as a team interpret this.
Okay, good. This leads perfectly to my next question, which is kind of along this lines. Right now, we have this Perp DEX meta,
Mm,
order book meta. There are a lot of players kind of in this space. I would say Aster is again one of the ones that kind of top of mind. Um,
mm.
but there are many. There are many. So, can you give me the pitch? Why should I use Aster over, I don't know, the half dozen or dozen or so Perp DEXs out there?
Sure. I think first thing we focus on providing a full suite of products, so you don't have to switch between like different protocol to kind of use spot, use futures, or use earn. We're building an entire full suite experience on chain. So we have been working on earning and trading since 2023. We have our own product, own stablecoin product for a while. We probably have the most complete uh, trading experience now across our competitors. We have a more high touch surface, in my opinion. We interact more frequently with our community. We have a relatively big team compared to our competitors that allows us to provide like more support, focus on more like we will have basically take a different approach. We're more operationally heavy, and we respond more timely. We like talk directly to our users. Yeah, and that's why we've been hiring. And if anyone listening to this, like looking for to build the future of Perp DEX, feel free to contact us. And I think one of the things privacy focus that has like we have been actually working on this since like quite early since June, before all this privacy thing caught fire. Um, so I think having that option to shield some of your information while being still verifiable, I think that's one of our advantage. Um, And for our spot product, obviously having a product like Rocket Launch allows user to discover high quality early stage project, which is usually uh, a lot easier to find alphas in there. So I think that's also one of the advantage of using Aster instead of like some of our competitors.
Very cool. Okay. Now, so the name Perp DEX or Orderbook DEX has the word decentralized, right? Decentralized
Hmm.
exchange in this. But as people have talked about, uh, this decentralization is sometimes just a name and name only. And so it goes from like very decentralized, I would say, for something like GMX,
Mm,
and to something incredibly centralized. Where would you put like centralized as in like a centralized exchange like Binance or Coinbase or something like that? Where would you put Aster on this kind of spectrum from
mm,
very, very decentralized to kind of uh uh if like GMX is like one
mm.
decentralized, very decentralized, and or maybe switch that right. Coinbase is one in terms of this, like very, very, very centralized, and then maybe GMX or something like that is a 10. Where would you put Aster on this?
I'll say somewhere in the middle, like 0.5 with the with a trend of moving to more decentralization. That's the ultimate goal. I think what the whole Perp DEX method proved is that like people care more about user experience uh than decentralization, or at least the majority of the users. You can have a very decentralized product with bad user experience and hope for mass adoption. And it's kind of like this whole meta kind of proves that it's probably easier to have a good user experience product that is slightly centralized first, get the user on board, and try to become more decentralized along the way. So I think that's how like that's also like how Esther is trying to achieve that decentralization. So we are gonna raw L1, and this will make us like probably like point 0.8, point 0.9 in terms of decentralization. Um, and we'll put in more like decentralized governance, staking mechanism, etc., to ultimately achieve that goal of centralized experience with decentralized infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, Solana, I think kind of proved this in
Mm,
my opinion, which is, yeah, start off with something more performant, and then
mm.
you can work your way to decentralization. Where anyway, that's my opinion. So I
And
agree
different
with you.
people have different approach. I
Yeah,
Again, it's hard to say which one is better, but we definitely know what worked, right? So
yeah,
like we can say what worked and try to replicate that success. Doesn't mean that there are not no ways of doing it like with fully decentralized at first. Like some team in the future would like might figure that out, but that's what happened at least in the last couple of cycles.
yeah, yeah. I think so. Okay, so we are about a month past 1010, the 1010 crash of October. Um, it was a great test for kind of these order book dexes,
Mm.
um, and some did better than others, and exchanges had troubles. I'd like to hear from your perspective. How did it go? Um, how did Aster fare? Did you guys learn any lessons?
Mm.
Are you going to make any? Have you made any changes? Are you in the process of making any changes since then?
Mm.
Just please regale me with your experience at 1010.
Okay, so 1010, well, people don't probably don't want to relieve that, but then Esther has held up pretty well. Obviously under extreme volatility, some users made profits, some users suffer a loss. However, as a platform, I think we were able to first maintain uptime. I think that's most important. And all trade was settled according to the rules fairly and efficiently. Um, I think the lesson here is about transparency. I think uh, all DEX also subject to the same inherent risks because of market volatility. But DEX like Aster has held up probably a little bit better, and people were in general more happy with it because of the information that they're able to verify publicly. Like they can verify that things are executed fairly and there's like a decentralized proof of it. Um, Everybody knows the rules, but like I think the problem with 1010 is in some of the centralized exchange, it's just unclear what exactly happened. Um, if you can, I think the lesson learned is that if you can prove it, uh, the process is fair. Most people would be able to do their own risk management and is um, content to accept or satisfy the result of those fair rules. So I think that's why, in general, it is probably it just proves that decentralized is the future because there's this inherent transparency that's embedded in the infrastructure, and if anything, centralized exchange is probably going to become more transparent. They're going to rely more on like decentralized infrastructure, and more user probably would, because of that, choose to migrate to the decentralized exchanges like Aster.
Yeah, yeah, that I like that. What did you what do you make of this? So everybody had to learn about the kind of ins and outs of ADL, the auto deleveraging, auto deleveraging. I was wondering if you have any thoughts. It could be high level or very specific on ADL, on its role,
Yeah.
on uh, how it was used, if it should change, if it be should kind of be adjusted into something else.
Mhm.
Any thoughts on that?
I mean, like futures in a certain sense is like a zero sum game, right? So there's always a counterparty to your trade, and I think there's no absolutely fair way of doing everything. Like I said, the system is designed to work in a certain way, and you have to be able to, like, if you can understand it well, then you can deploy your strategy into an, a venue that's best suited for your risk appetite and your strategy. And that's why I think it's important to make it clear and upfront how things work. I think ADL itself, again, it's not a bad thing, right? It's just there for a reason, like, and that's how like, you need that basically for the system to work. But the tiny details on how it's being triggered, and like what the like strike price would be, for example, would make or break your strategy. And if you make a decision without looking into those, uh, it's likely that you will be surprised in extreme like black swan cases like this one. So I think again, it's the platform's responsibility to like explain that clearly upfront and to educate the users. But I think it's also like the user has to make sure that they have proper risk management and like work on products that like they have a better understanding on and I think again our goal is to make everything as transparent as possible. If it is not now, we want to make it more transparent in the future, and hopefully with that like code being the law, then everybody at least can play on the same level playing field. So we wouldn't discriminate any users, big or small, retail, institutional, ones that want to stay private or ones that want to like broadcast their trade. So yeah, that's my take on ADL. I know it's a little bit more general, but then I think we have a pretty consistent approach on like how we design a product.
Cool. All right. Last question. Um, so you mentioned a little earlier about kind of these order book dexes, maybe taking different segments of the market.
Mm,
Right. For example, maybe one that's more transparent or one that has privacy features and whatnot. I was wondering, at a higher level, do you think that this order book dex category will be kind of a winner takes most situation, where maybe one or two, maybe three, but probably one or two will take most of the liquidity, most of the trading, and then you'll have like a long tail? Or will it be kind of I don't know, more egalitarian, and there'll just be like 10 that would, or however many that each take 15 to
Mm.
20% of the market or something like that.
I think it will be like a oligopoly instead of monopoly. So it's unlikely it will be one or two. Like I think 3 to 5 or up to 10 is like a reasonable number. Uh, I think first the overall market will be bigger, right? I personally believe it will be bigger than centralized exchange in the future. So with a market that size, like you will have different segments, and so there's in big enough market to for like 3, 5, 10 players to survive. A few dominant players will emerge, good at different things, very similar to what like we see in centralized exchange market. Right? The reason that it will be in my personal view is that like the reason that it will be a oligopoly instead of like more like decentralized market is because at the center of it is still a trading product, right? So liquidity is the core product that you're selling, and because there's inherent network effect of liquidity, so it's likely like the top players will have a superior experience because of that liquidity. uh However, I think user will still be able to choose from like a few players specialized in other enhanced feature adjacent features, uh features adjacent to this core trading. For example, Aster, I think we focus more on user experience. We have a bigger team, so like if you want like better services, then you come. While others might like focus on ecosystem, so they have like third party doing that, so you get a different kind of like surface like support like in that ecosystem. So depending on what you prefer, then you go to like different like perp dexes or like Orderbook dexes. So, but I think um, the core product will be pretty homogeneous. And the competition will be all this like peripheral um peripheral features, maybe lower fees, maybe better services, maybe privacy. And uh the competition will be pretty fierce because it's a big market. It's a market that's proven to generate cash. So like there will be fierce competition, which is a good thing for ultimate the consumer, the the user. So yeah, that's how I see the market to will evolve into.
Yeah. I mean, the way that now you're starting to see like US like equities being offered
Mm.
on these as well. I mean, not to sound like a Silicon Valley circa 2021 VC, but the TAM is enormous, right? So
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Total addressable market. Yes.
Yeah, the total addressable market. Yeah, so it is quite like a large opportunity, and yeah, excited to see where it goes. All right, well, thank you very much, Leonard. I appreciate it. Thank you for your insights, and we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
David,
much.
for your time.